John, I think you're going to be able to hear us in the open, but whatever. Just a little bit about how our awards will go. Coach Joan and Coach Coffey will come up and make some remarks about the freshman team, and then Coach Jolly will do the same with the JV team, and I'll do the same with the varsity team. Before they come up, a couple thank yous and apologies. Apologies first on two fronts. From me, the first, if I seemed a little distant this season, I really was focused on our kids and our seniors, and to do what they did really took a lot of focus on our coaching staff. So I always personally kind of want to apologize for that. And then secondly, on a more comical front, I want to apologize for my attire. The sweater that you saw in the video, I'm officially retiring.
Yeah.
I guess the rumor is that baseball coaches are very superstitious. Well, they have nothing over basketball coaches. The sweater was around 12 and 4, and if you thought I wasn't going to wear it in the tournament games, you were crazy. It would have been worn in Boston on that Tuesday as well. So it's getting its official retirement tonight. Thank yous to the parents, the boosters, their support all year, on senior night tonight with the setup and all the time and effort that goes into planning tonight. We had a really special senior night, probably the best game we played all year too, including those tournament games. It was on senior night. I don't think you could have scripted our senior night any better than it was. And that's because a lot of what the parents put into that, and then tonight as well. So thank you to them. To the administration, who couldn't be here tonight, and I think I emailed them and told them not to come, to be honest with you, because of the support they gave us throughout the season, both on social media, and then it's great when you keep advancing on the tournament, but superintendents and principals and athletic directors have families and lives, and those are 4 nights that they do in addition to their regular job. And they were at every one of our tournament games. So I've already expressed my gratitude from our team to them, and I kind of told them tonight, sure, if you can make it, but we already appreciate the support you gave us during that tournament run, going to every one of our tournament games. To the faculty, many of them who supported these guys, you don't see it as parents, but in their classes, on social media, and just hyping up their games in school, getting other kids to go on fan buses. A big thank you to all the faculty who supported them. They felt it in their classes during those 2 weeks. And then to the student body and our outside fans that aren't necessarily part of our student body. I guess I haven't seen any of those tournament videos. I haven't watched them, but when you watch that and the crowds that were at some of those games, our team really got to play in front of crowds that Division I schools don't have. Go to a Northeastern game on a random Saturday. You won't see 1,200 people or 2,500 people. So it was a great atmosphere, a great environment, and we really appreciated the support we had from the student body and our fans all year too. And then a thank you to my coaching staff, Coach Nolan, Coach Steve at the freshman level, the work they did with the freshmen. They really allowed Coach Jolly and myself to concentrate on the JV and varsity players because we know the freshmen are getting great coaching down at the level that they're at the Yale School. There's very few issues or problems because you have 2 qualified adults working with those kids, and we're really fortunate to have both of them. And obviously, Coach Jolly, on the JV level, the scouting that goes into tournament preparation is pretty thorough. Coach Jolly and I probably attended a game apiece, if not 2 games on Sundays during our February vacation week. And as you know, it was snowing every day. So, he was driving to Norwell and Rockland, and I was driving to go see Archbishop Williams in Old Rochester, and that was pretty much our lives over February vacation. We divided the teams we could play in half, and for the work that he does with the JV team as well, getting kids ready, I'm really lucky to have him. And the fact that he bleeds purple and was a Norton High player, you put it all together, he's the total package as an assistant coach. So, to all of them, thank you. And without any further ado, the freshman coaches are on.
First,
first, I don't need this microphone, that's for sure. I want to thank Alan Marshall for putting together the video that you saw. And I want to thank all the moms that did this for you guys tonight. It's very much appreciated. I wrote something down here about Coach Liv, but I'm putting it away. He's been at Norton High now for 14 years. How many freshmen are 14 years old? You weren't even born when Liv got here. Okay? You might have been a twinkle, but you weren't born.
Struggling to see where this is going.
Okay. So he's been here 14 years. I've been here 11 years. I've watched him for 11 years, coaching and putting in the dedication that he puts in and year out. Every year I try not to embarrass him, but I think that's going to go out the window. I've seen the dedication and the persistence in what he does with the boys. Brad Murphy put a tweet on the computer that said he made him proud to wear Norton across his chest. That says it all. He seems to know what to say and how to pick these guys up. He knows how to motivate teams that shouldn't be on the floor with some other teams. He gets everything out of every boy player that plays for him and in turn into men because they're learning life's lessons also. Most of these boys in here, I did have as freshmen, and I get a little emotional sometimes because I watch them all 4 years, and the little twits they wear down on the freshman team grow into nice young men by the time they get to Liv. Okay? And when we say that, you know, well, look at Brett, because he's doing exactly what he did when he was a freshman. And I yell at him, and he'd be like this. So, the pride that he instills in these boys carries over to each and every player on every level, carries over into the school, and that's why the gymnasium is full from game 1 to game, what, 20? 24 games. Okay. So I'm not gonna say much more, but he is the epitome of a great high school coach, and I want everybody to give him some applause. Next, I want to thank Travis, my partner in stats. We sit there and just wait for Liv to get his first technical, which hasn't happened in 14 years, so we're waiting. But I don't think it's ever going to happen. And I just thank Travis for carrying on what we try to start at the freshman level and to help Liv out for the next level. He's been a great addition for 4 years. He's got 7 more to catch up. Okay? I will probably not be around for 7 more years.
Brandon that for a lot of years.
I know, but it didn't come out this year. He says, you've been pretty good. You haven't mentioned retiring. I said, that's because I have my sidekick now, so. And I want to thank Coach Coffey for making it possible for me to coach this year. We seem to match up pretty well. The boys didn't know what end it was coming from, because if I weren't yelling at him, he was. Or if I wasn't calming him down, he was calming me down. So it worked out really, really well. The only fight we had is over who was going to stand during the games, because I can't coach sitting down. But we worked that out. Okay, quick mention about the freshmen. I just want to quickly mention the names of the boys that were on the freshmen. Cam Gill, Trevor Cintron, Riley Coffey, Timmy Munger, Matt Goodman, Cam Musto, Kobe McCullough, Ryan Melende, Jared Sicard, Joe Weaver, and Jack Dempsey. Great group of kids. Great group of kids. This next part's going to go really quick, because every year they yell at me for being long, but I don't care. It might be my last year. We don't know. Every year on the freshman level, it begins out like a different story. It's a story of dedication and passion for a game that I love. This year, Coach Coffey joined in on the fun. As in any story, there's a beginning, middle, and an end. In the beginning, you have the coaches waiting with anticipation to see the list of characters, or as we say, the players. Then there's a plot or a goal to be set in place. The story starts at tryouts with 12 to 14 players, all with different talents. Now we have to make them into a team. The team is chosen, and Coach Coffey and I decide on the roles of each player. As a role member, we told them to find out what they did well and go with it. The other parts of the game will follow, but not without a lot of hard work. Now the story's set to begin. Drills, drills, and more drills. Learning defense and offensive sets. Getting into condition. Every practice is dedicated to free throws and learning to listen. They're drilled to leave it all on the floor, whether it was a game or a practice. They learn that there are consequences when not listening. This is where the villains of the story come in, who are the coaches. The middle of the story is the 18 games we played. The team, now realizing their roles, put it together and won the first 3 games. As the season progressed, they strung together a run of 6 straight wins in the tough TBL league. The drama in the story would have to have been all the illnesses and injuries that were overcome. The drama was cast aside by each player with a role, stepped it up and put it all together and became a real team. This group, now believing in the word team, held opponents to 45 points a game defensively while scoring 65 on offense. The outcome was a team record of 13 wins and 5 losses. The outcome was watching each player cheer the others on. The outcome was a team that had pride in their school and their basketball program by staying to watch the varsity games. Coach Coffey and I have had a few disappointments, but what story's perfect? Overall, we couldn't be prouder by how our story turned out. To the varsity, we have one final thought from the freshmen. Every champion was once a contender that never gave up. You are our school champions. Congratulations on your season. Thank you. Coach Coffey's going to give out the awards.
I told Coach John I was going to wing it. For 2 weeks he said, you got to write it down, you got to write it down. So I wrote some stuff down. It's right here. I just want to say a few thank yous. I don't have a plot or a drama or anything. Huge thank you to the varsity team, the JV and the freshmen. You guys taught me a lot. I've known you guys and coached you guys for a while, the varsity and the seniors. I've seen you guys as a parent, coach, and a huge fan. Can't be more proud of you guys. I expected it. I knew you guys could get there. A lot of guys may not have thought that, but you guys had a great year, and thank you for taking us on that ride. JV squad, thank you too. I saw a lot of great games. I had one memorable game over at Dover Sherborne. You guys were down by 3. Hopefully we're going to talk about it. 20 seconds left to tie it up on a couple of free throws and come back and win that. That was a very memorable game to watch. So my freshmen, or our freshmen, sorry, I get used to that. Toughest part is coaching with somebody who wants to stand up the whole time. 13-5, couldn't be more proud of you guys too, small 3 teams. Thank you very much for a nice year to step in and help coach. I know Coach Curley's not here. I want to thank him and Coach Slim and Coach Charlie for giving me the opportunity to help coach this year. It was a lot of fun. And most of all, I got to thank Coach Jones for letting me coach for 5 minutes in Ashland. It was Ashland. We beat Ashland here by 20 points. So on the bus ride up there, she goes to Ashland, the second half of the season, she goes, you can coach today. I'm like, okay, great. I can stand up and get loud and do my thing. I stood up, got loud. I think Ashland hit a bunch of shots. They were hitting every shot. We were missing a few. Tight ball game. 5 minutes in the first quarter, she's up yelling over me, sit down. And the refs came up to me at halftime and said, hey, assistant coach, you got to sit down. I said, why? She said I could coach today. I said, you better go tell her to sit down. So, anyway, thank you, Joan, really. I've never met a more passionate coach for the kids, for the game of basketball. It was a lot of fun. She taught me a lot. Believe it or not, I know Coach Flip may laugh at this, but she taught me a lot of patience. Is that funny? No. All right. All right, so the awards. Let me start over here first. We have about 3 coaches awards we'd like to give out. It goes to the players who worked hard in practice, who worked hard in the games, who were tremendous sportsmen, and that they respected the game, they respected the coaches, respected other players, parents, and the referees. So our first award goes to a player who came right in. He was a silent type leader. He did it with tough defense, great offense, worked hard in practice, every game, never complained about a call or coming out of the game. All he wanted to do was learn. Whether he was in the game or on the bench, he wanted to know what was going on. And when we told him where he was supposed to be, when he wasn't, he knew right away what he was doing. Right now he's playing AAU, I believe, getting ready for next year. He's a great hustler, great rebounder, and scored a lot of points. Jared Scott.
Yeah, Jared! Proud of your son, daughter. Yep.
Yeah, you did a great job, man.
Yep.
Second award is going to go to a player who we thought could play anywhere at any time. He played guard, he played big man, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to call him. He played all over the place. He didn't start at the beginning of the year. He came off the bench and gave us tremendous minutes. And then one of our starters went down, who was high energy, fast-paced, did a lot on our defense and offense. We asked this boy to come in there and do the same thing as a starter, and he did. Jumped right in. The team didn't miss a beat. We kept winning. We kept with the high press and a lot of hard work and a lot of hustle. He worked out at practice, in games. I think he might have said 3 words all year long. He's another guy with a great passion for the sport, just like all these guys. Ryan Melende.
Want to say anything? Thank you, everyone.
Our last coach award goes to a guy who we thought, we called him our engine. He was the engine to our team. He was high energy, fast paced, press, defense, rebounds, offense. He did everything. From day 1 in practice, he worked hard. And when he got into those games, he worked even harder. You can tell by the redness in his face. He got tenacious, he hustled, he rebounded, both ends of the court. He scored, he passed. He did it all with great hustle. He did it with great intensity as well. He's another player who never complained. Whenever there was a foul called or he got out of the game, we pulled him out for a sub, never complained. He was a true leader, Joey Reba. I just want to say, from the beginning of practice, tryouts and everything, these guys, as a team, they work very hard. Every one of them, I'm very proud of all you guys. You want Peter to come up? Oh.
On behalf of our team, I would like to say thank you to Coach Tony, Coach Coffey for coaching us this year. And we all improved immensely this year, and we hope to improve for years on.
I don't want this to be a really long speech, so I'm just going to say that I'm proud of the whole team and everyone from varsity to freshmen on how great we did all season, and looking forward for all the years to come.
Okay, the next is the JV coach class.
First, I have a few thank yous. First to the parents. Thank you to all the parents for all your constant support. I know in all the work and help we had tonight. I know we had especially during the season, we had a crazy schedule with late practices, late games. Your kids aren't getting home until 8, 9 o'clock, have to have dinner for them ready, and my mom hated those days, and I'm sure everyone else hates those days too, but we thank you for all your help. To the players, my players, your hard work and dedication all season, thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed playing on this team as much as I enjoyed coaching it. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you all come back next year to help build and continue the success of this program. To the seniors, I had the pleasure of coaching all of you for at least a year, and many of you too. It was a fun ride. Thank you for letting me be part of it. It was, amazing experience just being. I can imagine it would be an amazing experience being able to play in front of 2,500 people, and something you'll never forget. So thank you, Coach Coffey. It's your first year here. Thank you for all your help. I'm sure you helped out Coach Joe immensely. It's probably nice for the freshmen to have a guy's point of view for 10 years. So I'm sure they enjoyed that. Coach Joe, you've been doing this for 10 years, and 11, sorry. Coaching freshman boys is not easy, I'm sure, but I know you love it, and you do a great job with it. The 4 years I've been here, I've seen the players improve immensely, and it makes my job a lot easier as a JV coach, not having to teach the basics, and they already know it, and they're ready to go. So thank you for that, and thank you obviously for the support and being someone that just talk to during the season. So thank you. And lastly, thank you, Coach Lim. He's a great coach to play for, and not only to coach with. I had the pleasure of doing both. So every game that this team plays, when I was playing to now, we're always the most prepared. He does a great job. He coaches every possession of every play, and never takes the game to play off. We talk about players taking players off, but as a coach, he never takes a play off. He's trying to yell at plays that the other team's running and what they're doing while they're running it before they call it. He's dedicated to this program, making sure everyone improves from freshman all the way to varsity. And the time he spends for preparation is something to take into account. Before the Norwell game, the Sunday morning, I dropped off my scout report. I took off after we beat Archbishop Wiggins, went to go see Norwell, and had a scout report. Brought it to him Sunday morning, and I don't think he left the school from 9 o'clock Sunday morning until, what time did we practice? 5 Sunday night. And he had a 6-page printout for every player with, every man play they run, from watching videos from my scout report, and I think we ran, 10 possessions of man defense in the game. So, for those 10 possessions, they knew every play they were running at him. It's just something that, he does, and he's done a great job with, so thank you. Now on to the season. Usually after every game, I always think about how we played. What went right, what went wrong, what we need to work on as a team. After the last game of the year, I think more about the successes we had as a team, And as I was thinking about that, a word always kept coming to my mind. It was compete. From day one on this team, everyone had to compete. We had 18 players trying out for the JV team. The most I've ever had to do, had the tryouts. And for 3 days, all 18 kids worked hard, competed against each other, and we found our final 11. For the next week and a half, we continued to compete against each other to make ourselves better and improve and be ready for the first game. And when the first game finally came, our high-level competition from the 9 practices, we were able to walk out of that first game with our first victory, which is always a nice thing to do. After 5 games, we found ourselves at 4-1, and everything seemed to be going great until Westwood came. And it seemed like that night we didn't compete like normal. We lost that night by 21, but that just made us want to work harder and compete harder going forward. Now, out of our last 12 games, we're all decided with 8 points or less, with the exception of 1 loss. That was more than 8, but that means every night we came ready to play, competed, and knowing that it would come down to the last 2 minutes. And we did most of this with no practice. Our last practice for the JV team was January 29th, and our final game was February 13th. That means we went 15 days and played 7 games without a single practice. Even with no practice, we were still able to compete every night. And in that stretch of 7 games with no practice was our rematch against Westwood. That's something a team would want. After beating us at our place by 21, any team could walk in and think we'd have no chance. With no practice, and then being down by double digits early in the second quarter. But not this team and not on this night. With the spark of Jay Morris coming off the bench in the second quarter, we were able to walk in the halftime of the lead in the second quarter with great team defense. We were able to secure the 60-54 victory. We returned with a 21-point home loss into a 6-point road win. And in Westwood, everyone did their job and competed, and that's how I run this team. I have some Coaches Awards. First one, this is the only player that I had last year returning to my JV team this year, which is unusual. Usually it was 3 or 4. He's always been a good shooter. He's typically always been a guard. But I told him at the beginning of the season that he's going to have to go to a big man, considering they're very vertically challenged as a JV team. He took it in stride. He learned quick. He competed as an undersized center and started every game at center. He had the highest free throw percentage, and one of the better shooters on the team from the center position, which is always nice. His highlights were 2 wins at Dover, both games 11 points and 3 threes in each game. This first Coach's Award goes to Ryan Brown.
Yeah, Ryan!
Second Coach's Award goes to someone that I don't think I look back at the book and he didn't start a game all year, but he was probably my 6th man all year long. Start of the year, I knew he was a shooter, and that's kind of what he was. But as the year went on, that changed. He turned into a complete player. He's taking the ball to the basket. He made good passes, improved defensively. Also at times when we were going small, with foul trouble, he would move down to the 4 position, go down low, be able to rebound, and hang down there too. And his highlight was in Ashland when we had 2 points, about 5-6 minutes into the first quarter. He came in and had 3 threes to get 9 of our 12 points in the first, and finished with 13 points in the first half. The second Coach's Award goes to Mike.